I'm Adam Green with No More News. It's January 13th, 2019, and this morning I was driving down the street and stopped at my friend's house. His garage was open. I walked in the door and like divine intervention, this is what played.
Trying to make it 8 consecutive seasons in the conference championship game. And congratulations to Patriots owner Bob Kraft. It was announced this week he is the recipient of the 2019 Genesis Prize, known as the Jewish Nobel. The prize honors individuals for professional achievement, philanthropy, and commitment to Jewish values. He'll be honored in June at a gala in Jerusalem. 3rd and 10.
So I never watch football. Crazy chances that when I walk in, that's what came on when the Chargers were playing the Patriots. So I knew the owner of the Patriots, Robert Kraft, is a big Trump supporter and a Zionist, as well as Belichick, the coach, and Tom Brady. So I just wanted to go over this award, this Nobel Peace Prize that he got a few days ago. So you can see here, NBC, ABC News, everybody's covering it. ABC News says Israel awards Patriot owner Kraft the Jewish Nobel Prize. And last year's winner was Natalie Portman, you may remember. She snubbed the event because she didn't want to appear to be endorsing Netanyahu, and the decision sparked an angry backlash from some Israeli politicians, with others warning that her move was a distressing sign of eroding support for Israel among young American Jews. They're really worried about that happening. And you remember Natalie Portman slams Israel nation-state law as racist, but that's besides the point. And so Kraft is a 77-year-old billionaire from Brooklyn. He is a longtime supporter of Israel, has donated to various causes there, and is close with Netanyahu. But he's a Democrat. He used to support Obama, and he is now friendly with President Trump, or more than friendly. So Kraft has spent most of his life advocating for more just society, tolerance, and inclusiveness. And he's fulfilling Tikkun Olam, which is repairing the world, the Jewish idea that they are a light unto the nations and the world needs saving, and they are the chosen ones to do it. And Stan Polovets, co-founder and chairman of the Genesis Prize Foundation, I'll show you more about him in a second. He says, quote, "Our foundation looks forward to working with Robert Kraft and leveraging the power of sports to combat anti-Semitism and other forms of hate and prejudice." So stay tuned for some propaganda and more propaganda in the NFL. The Genesis Prize was inaugurated in 2014 and is run in a partnership with the Israeli Prime Minister's office. So straight propaganda award to Kraft. The private Genesis Prize Foundation and the chairman's office of the Jewish Agency, a nonprofit group with close ties to the Israeli government. So he's basically a foreign agent. It is funded by $100 million endowment establishment by the foundation. And Robert Kraft, here's another one. They say it's one of the most prestigious awards that the Jewish community can bestow. And Kraft will donate the award to initiatives that fight anti-Semitism and other forms of prejudice, along with battling efforts to delegitimize Israel. So they're trying to crack down on all criticism of Israel, as I've been documenting. Robert Kraft receives 2019 Genesis Prize from Israel. It's ESPN. Let's see, I don't have anything highlighted there. Here it is on Twitter, Prime Minister of Israel congratulating him.
Bob, you have won the Genesis Prize, and you are a true champion. You fight anti-Semitism, you fight for the state of Israel, you fight for the Jewish people, and no one deserves this prize more than you. And I'm delighted, and of course not surprised to hear, that you're taking this prize to further combat anti-Semitism. I look forward to welcome you here in Jerusalem. Congratulations.
Interesting that it's named Genesis. Well, that's Alex Jones's radio network. And you can see some more of these tweets here from this program. But let's get into the owner of it. Genesis Prize laureate. Here we go. So Genesis Prize, the website. And we're way blown up. Stan Polovets. So this is the co-founder and chairman, CEO of the Genesis Prize Foundation. He is a Russian-American business and philanthropist. And he's into Russian oil, so he's basically a Russian oil oligarch. Member of the Council on Foreign Relations, just showing that the swamp that Trump is surrounded by with his friend Kraft and Sheldon Adelson, who I'm going to get into in a second. CFR member, Hoover Institute, and initiative focused on enhancing Jewish identity. So it's funny that the Patriots, the American Patriots owner, is really a patriot of Israel, just in this huge Zion matrix that Trump is a part of. Oh, Trump's not a Zionist. He's not a Zionist. Here's the team over at Genesis. Looks like a bunch of Ashkenazi Soviet Russian Jews. Anyway, they're fighting anti-Semitism. That's the big thing everywhere. And, of course, the relationship with Trump. Here's Trump has his own Patriots jersey, Trump 45. And super close friends. Robert Kraft says he is loyal to Trump, similar to how he is loyal to Israel instead of the United States, like so many of these Israeli firsters. Super Bowl 2018, what's the connection between the Patriots and Donald Trump? They've been friends for years. Kraft has supported Trump politically. He's on record of having given him $1 million to Trump's inaugural committee via the Kraft group, just like Sheldon Adelson donated to the inauguration. There's Tom Brady with a Make America Great Again hat, similar to running PR with the entertainment, with the sports they're doing with the Patriots, and also Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, all types of pro-Trump, pro-Kushner propaganda on the Kardashians. I got a tip. And also, all this PR stuff with Kanye and Trump. Here's Trump saying congratulations to Tom Brady. So you can just see another Zionist Israel firster. Here, 10 celebrity CEOs and conservative provocateurs we know have been dinner guests at Trump's White House, Business Insider. So this is the company he keeps. Robert Kraft, that's who we're talking about, the first one. Rupert Murdoch, of course, Fox News. Matt Drudge of the alternative kosher conservative Matrix Media with Breitbart, WND, Alex Jones at InfoWars, PragerU. It's all the Sarah Palin, Pamela Geller. It's all Zionist. There is no pro-Trump. There's no pro-America party. The Democrats definitely aren't America. They're trying to destroy America. And then the Republicans are trying to let America be used by Israel. Jamie Dimon, Sean Hannity, Zionist, Cora Lewandowski, Peter Thiel. Okay, you get it. Katz, all Zionists. His whole circles are Zionist. TMZ, Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, has a direct phone access to President Trump. He's buddies with Netanyahu. They called every week after Kraft's wife died. But I guess they had a little bit of beef at one time. Trump has such an ego, he fights with everybody. I guess he gave a middle finger to Robert Kraft on air.
We're seeing right now, because it's getting athletes back involved in the game. Whether we like it or not, they've got a ton of power, these athletes. You got people who are watching them, these young...
They're talking about the kneeling. He wasn't happy about Trump's kneeling.
This way is good. And now you're adding the owner component to it. This is something that could be a powerful good for society.
Well, ownership for being a role model is always important, whether you believe you're one or not. Lola, great to see you. Terrence, thank you, sir. Charlie, nice to see you as well.
Okay, I guess I didn't see the middle finger there. That was a waste of 30 seconds. But President Trump thanks Robert Kraft for helping secure the World Cup. So I guess his sports knowledge helped us get the World Cup. Who else helped was Jared Kushner helped bring the 2026 World Cup. So hashtag Kushner Moshiach, another win for Mr. Do-It-All, Mr. Everything Genius Negotiator, Peace in the Middle East, Kushner. Here is Boston something. Trump reportedly joked that he could have had Tom Brady as a son-in-law instead of Kushner, speaking of Kushner. And Omarosa's book said that Donald Trump thought that Jared Kushner was not straight when Kushner first dated Ivanka Trump. So that's all for that. And then let's get to this, what I have. So we got Robert Kraft winning awards from Israel, hanging out with Netanyahu, And just like Sheldon Adelson and all these people surrounding Trump, another Israel firster, just like Sheldon Adelson. And Sheldon Adelson's buying the presidency. And here he is. This is Sheldon Adelson, Trump's top campaign contributor, a well-known Israel firster. This is all he cares about. But Trump it pretends to be America first. This is who owns him.
All we care about is being good Zionists, being good citizens of Israel. All we care about is being good Zionists, good citizens of Israel.
Sheldon Adelson, all Israel, all the time. Israel firster, one public policy issue on his agenda, Israel. What else do we have? Adelson's given $100 million to Trump. $100 million pledge. I've showed you all these before. It's in Banks' Paradise featuring Donald Trump and my documentary, God's Chosen People. This is who's running Middle East policy. He's the one that got Bolton in there. He's the one that got everybody fired. It's Sheldon Adelson's world, as they say. And so we got Robert Kraft fighting anti-Semitism. All this new anti-Semitism stuff is coming out, including anti-Semitism. We got here. There we go. Look at all this stuff coming down the pipeline. Hurricane victims must support Israel if they want to get relief. So pledges to Israel. The teacher got fired for not signing the oath. Delegitimizing Israel is illegal in some states. Marco Rubio is trying to make it everywhere. Trump is changing the definition of anti-Semitism and trying to bring in all these new laws. House panel approves bills on anti-Semitism envoy combating genocide. The ADL welcomes House passage of anti-Semitism envoy bill. Of course they do. 45 senators support bill that makes boycotting Israel a crime. Rubio just failed to pass it, but they'll pass it as soon as the government's back up again. Democrats join Republicans in bill criminalizing free speech. So all these new bills, all these new laws, and you know when it's bipartisan what that means. Al Jazeera doc shows all the undercover footage of them bragging about controlling Congress bipartisanly and Trump. And even Washington Post and LA Times and some mainstream media are saying that this legislation is a threat to free speech. The Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, Anti-Semitism Envoy Bill. And here is Trachtenberg, Barry Trachtenberg. I did a video on him this week. And the U.S. State Department actually has a definition of anti-Semitism. All these things, all they got to do is pass the law, and it's illegal to criticize Israel. It's illegal to say anything bad about anything Judaism or world Jewry or anything like that. Just immune from criticism. You go to jail. I can see it coming down the pipeline. This is what they're trying to do. The Noahide laws. The second one is that you cannot speak harshly of the temple, the Judaism, the rabbis, anything. And the punishment for that, according to them, I was looking it all up, I'm going to do a video on it soon, is death. It is death if you don't go along with the Noahide laws. And here they are showing about this dual. So Robert Kraft, Sheldon Adelson, clearly Israel firsters. They're in America pretending to be patriots with Trump as their front man and the Patriots as the team. But they're all about Israel first. You can't serve two masters. If you're sending all your money and donating everything to Israel, you're just siphoning stuff off to another country, and you're not America first. That's who our president is so influenced by a foreign country. I mean, it's not just like the reasonable thing to do. We're obligated to be talking about this. A foreign country, a foreign entity with way too much control over the country. They're trying to make it illegal for me to say this, to say that there's such a thing as having dual loyalty. And here is Barry Trachtenberg saying how that's a bad thing. And he is from the Wake Forest Jewish Chair Professor of History.
About the State Department definition, which seeks to codify what anti-Semitism is, the State Department definition claims that stating that a particular Jewish person has more loyalty to the state of Israel than they do to their own country is necessarily an example of anti-Semitism. Where the truth is that that's one of the fundamental premises of Zionism. And if you go back and look at the statements, say, of Theodor Herzl, who's wrote really what's considered the founding text of Zionism, he argued very clearly that Jews are one people, and therefore it's useless for them to be patriots to the countries in which they reside. So there's times when a statement like that is contained in the definition of the State Department would actually undermine the founding premises of Zionism itself.
mutation through.
Okay, so you hear that? Zionism. Zionism means it's useless to be a patriot in the countries you come from. Now I'm going to show you something new I haven't showed before. If this will open up. Okay, here we go. This is from the book Hastening Redemption, Messianism and the Resettlement of the Land of Israel by Ari Morgenstern. And there's some great things in this. A letter to the Rothschild about rebuilding the temple back in 1836, brought to it so that the third temple might be built and all humanity brought to acknowledge the dominion of the King, King of Kings, the Holy One, blessed be their Moshiach. An early letter dispersing restoration of the third temple in Jerusalem. And here's the part about the dual nationalism. The possibility that Jews might attain equal civil rights for the first time in the history of Christian Europe compelled Jews and Gentiles alike to consider their religious national distinctiveness. The principal question presented was whether the Jews, once granted the rights of citizens, would be able to assume all the associated obligations as well, or whether, conversely, their religion entailed a unique political aspect that precluded them from taking upon themselves all the obligations of citizens of their countries of residence. So, precluding them. So they're not able to fulfill their obligations as citizens of their countries of residence. This is the rabbi that in 1836 was asking Rothschilds to buy up the Temple Mount so they can rebuild the temple and have the land of Israel and fulfill all the end times prophecy. Two fundamental Jewish ideas were seen as obstacles for granting. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I missed the best part. Including a sense of full fraternity with the Gentiles. So they can't have full fraternity with us. This is their words. They can't associate with us. Two fundamental Jewish ideas were seen as obstacles for granting the Jews full civic rights. That of chosenness, which obligates Jews to separate themselves from Gentiles, and that of the Messiah, which by invoking the hope to return to Zion and reestablish the kingdom of the Jews in their historical land, seems to conflict with loyalty to a European homeland. Exactly like Herzl said, you can't be patriots in the countries you reside because if you're a Jew, it's all about the end times and the Messiah. And obviously not every Jew believes this, but many of them do. This is the foundation of Zionism. The complete end game with Zionism is all about, this is the same thing, or same book, and it says, settlement of the land of Israel is not a means to promote Jewish political freedom or economic prosperity, but an end in itself, so that the third temple might be built and all humanity brought to acknowledge the dominion of the King of Kings and Holy Blessed One. So, see, it's not about political freedom. Israel's not about political freedom. It's not about economic prosperity, but an end in itself so that the third temple might be built. That's what Zionism is all about. They like to say, oh, it's just like a safe homeland for the Jews. That's not, that's what it is, but that's not all of what it is. So if you're supporting them at all, you're supporting the end game of them destroying Al-Aqsa, rebuilding the temple, and ruling the world with advanced technology through the trade routes of the new Silk Road they're going to set up. Netanyahu's talking about a UN for the internet, dominating in cyber technology, cyber security, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, machine learning. Out of breath, guys, out of breath. This is a lot to handle, even for me when I'm covering this stuff all the time. And what's the other part? I'm going to wrap it up here. Here's the last of it, almost done. The Marco Rubio's bill to counter BDS. The government shut down, and the first thing the Senate does is try to put out a bill that makes it so private citizens that decide not to do business with Israel are punished by local and state governments and not given, they're discriminated against so that they can't get contracts. It's absolute insanity. And of course, Rubio is another Sheldon Adelson puppet. See, Adelson warms to Marco Rubio. Rubio takes lead in Sheldon Adelson primary. This is before Trump stomped on little Marco Rubio. And then now we got Trump saying that we're going to destroy anti-Semitism.
On the scene and leading federal, incredible. This evil anti-Semitic attack is an assault on all of us. It's an assault on humanity. It will require all of us working together to extract the hateful poison of anti-Semitism from our world. This was an anti-Semitic attack at its worst. The scourge of anti-Semitism cannot be ignored, cannot be tolerated, and it cannot be allowed to continue.
The synagogue shooting is exactly what they wanted. Exactly what the ADL loved that this happened.
Everywhere it rears its very ugly head. We must stand with our Jewish brothers and sisters to defeat anti-Semitism and vanquish the forces of hate. That's what it is. Through the centuries, the Jews have endured terrible persecution, and you know that. We've all read it, we've studied it. They've gone through a lot. And those seeking their destruction, we will seek their destruction. And when you have crimes
Okay, everybody's
like this,
celebrating now. They're going to destroy the anti-Semites. That means any criticism of Israel at all whatsoever. Look at how they're moving the bar. I mean, they say Alex Jones is anti-Semitic, and he's the biggest Israeli shill around. Here's Netanyahu. You can't just say you're anti-Zionist anymore. They're saying that's the new anti-Semitism. They're one and the same. I show that in my documentary, The Truth About Anti-Semitism. You can see that here at No More News YouTube channel. Where is it? It's in Zionism Exposed, The Truth About Anti-Semitism. And if you haven't seen it yet, check out God's Chosen People, my new documentary on BitChute, available with all the rest of my links on nomorenews.org. I am completely supported by my followers, and every dollar helps. So if you can help me out, best way is PayPal, donate button right here, just a few dollars a month, so I can continue bringing you guys all this important stuff that we're not seeing enough people covering. And thanks for all the support that I have been getting. It means everything. And stay tuned for more videos. Been doing a ton of research the last few days, and so much crazy information I'm going to get out to you guys soon. So thanks for watching. Adam Green, No More News. See you in the next video.